All right, we are live. With me, this is Arsenal Fan Circle channel with that Bearded Gooner once again. Tanner, how you doing?
Uh, I've had I've had better Mondays, Ray. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, we're all with you right there, right now. Um, I'm a little bit lost for words, but I'm sure we will find the words to talk about what happened yesterday. Um, Basically, two big talking points, maybe more than two actually. Tanner, I'm thinking VAR and I'm thinking Granit Xhaka.
VAR,
Where do
Greenwich. Go ahead.
where do you want to go first?
I think maybe just start at the very beginning.
Okay.
From kickoff of the match and just kind of get my thoughts on
All right. Let
everything as a
me.
whole first.
We had the pregame show with Mahir yesterday. Tell me about what you thought about on the lineup, the announced lineup.
Um, same problems as before. I was happy to see Kieran Tierney get a shout finally, and very happy that he got through the entire match. I Overall, I'm still not on board with Granit Xhaka being that defensive midfielder that Torreira should be. So still problems with the lineup, but I suppose maybe you could say take it a game at a time, and maybe Emery will start to piece it together one player at a time. Um, but overall, the lineup, not surprised at the lineup other than Tierney getting in. I really didn't think he would get in after playing 90 minutes against Vittoria on Thursday. So pleasantly surprised to see Tierney get in there finally in a Premier League match. Otherwise, it's status quo.
Yeah, I did a video yesterday or the day before about breaking the cycle, Tanner, from Thursday to Sunday, and we did that with Kieran Tierney
Mm-hmm.
getting onto the starting lineup. But I wanted Rob Holding as well. Um, I predicted everything else, but Rob Holding, Socrates got the start. And after 7 minutes, I was thinking, okay, maybe I was wrong, and you know, maybe our coach was right. We got off to a
Well,
lightning good start with a goal in the 6 minutes from Socrates, followed by another goal 3 minutes later by David Luiz.
um, I'm with you on Rob Holding, and I still don't think I will say this. I think Socrates had his. I think he played his best game of the season yesterday, as a matter of fact. So I I thought last year he towards the end of the season, I thought he really started to tail off. I like his passion and his energy. And I remember one. I can't remember who it was against last year. It was at home, and he made a sliding tackle in the box and got all ball, and the ball went out for a corner for the other team. But he jumped up and he was fired up. He was ready to go, and just from defending, and I really liked that. And yesterday, I did think that he played his best game of the season last year. That being said, obviously not the result we wanted, and I still, despite the goals from each of our center halves, think Rob Holding needs to get in because I do think that he is our best defender beyond a shadow of a doubt at this point.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. The link is on Twitter at that bearded gooner. Go give Tanner a follow as well. If you want to join us live and air your issues with Arsenal, Unai Emery, Granit Xhaka, the list goes on. Kolasinac,
Mesut
David Luiz.
Ozil. Let's not forget Mesut Ozil.
Like I said, Tanner, the usual suspects,
Pretty
you know,
much.
and Unai Emery continues to pick them. So 2-0 up, and Lacazette had a chance to make it 3-0.
And a good take, a good save, I think. I think there was a save. I don't think he hit the post. I think the goal,
Outside of the post.
yeah, was it the outside of the post? Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, a good attempt. You want to see that go in, but a good attempt, a good cross again from Kieran Tierney. Just my goodness, 2 shows in a row now, I'm raving about his crosses into the box. But after that after that opportunity from Lacazette, I really thought we just slowed down again and just really no creativity in the middle of the park. No link getting to our attack with Pepe, Lacazette, and Aubameyang, and that was pretty much it after the Lacazette chance. We had a couple of good shouts in the second half, but again, the problem continues to be in the midfield where we have no creativity. We have no link up with our attack. And we saw that big time yesterday where, great, 2 goals up in the first 10 minutes, and we can't hold it because we can't create any more chances. And I really, after the penalty that I still think is a bit suspect on Chambers, I think VAR got it wrong on both occasions yesterday. But when the penalty was committed, and Milivojevic buried it, as he is, I think, always going to do. I couldn't tell you any time I've ever seen him miss or have one saved a penalty kick. After that, I just kind of felt like this is it. We won't score again. I never felt confident after the Milivojevic penalty, which made it 2-1. I didn't feel confident that we'd come away with the 3 points after that.
And combined with Bernd Leno not really being able to, not being a penalty saver.
No.
As such. His record is equally as bad as Milojevic's record is at scoring goals. So
yes.
That was a definite going to convert on the penalty. VAR controversy, I've been saying this. It's going to come back and it's going to hurt us one day. I've been saying this from the start of the season. And we've been hurt by VAR. This is the first occasion, Tanner, that I've seen overturned from the referee's decision on the field.
And the purpose of VAR is to change a decision where there is a clear and obvious mistake made by the referee on the field. It is not there to create a situation that didn't exist in the first place. And I think VAR got it wrong on both accounts. I'll say I didn't see enough contact with Chambers sticking his leg out on Zaha. I'm not going to say it wasn't a penalty, because the one thing that I'll take away from that is Chambers does stick his right leg out. He plants it, and it's a split second. So I think in that case, whatever the call on the field was, it should have stood, with the exception of the dive. I just don't see you giving Zaha a yellow for the dive there. But I think that call should have stood. Had it been called a penalty on the pitch, I think that call should have stood. I don't think VAR should have changed it. And then for the game winner, and I'm going to call it the game winner because it was a game winner from Socrates, that should have counted. That's unbelievably a blatantly obvious mistake by VAR. And it's gotten me to the point where I'm almost thinking now, where are the men in the high castle who are benefiting from these awful, awful, awful VAR calls?
And who are they?
Right.
Who are this panel of referees? Are they anonymous?
They're not anonymous. And the referee, his name escapes me. I want to say it was Gillett is his last name. I believe he's Australian, or he's refereed in Australian football. He has never officiated or refereed a Premier League game in his career, and his assistant was the assistant VAR official for the Sheffield United match, where he blatantly ignored the jersey tug on Socrates in that match as well. So I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but I'm becoming one for conspiracy theories as it relates to VAR and the Arsenal.
Want to say hello to Ryan, Mr. Arsenal podcast.
Hey, Ryan, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Ryan, if you want to come on live with us tonight, you can find the link at the Bearded Gooner. Tanner just posted the link. So if you want to come in, talk about it, we're going to get into heavier issues, Tanner, pretty soon. VAR, there's screens on the sideline that are not being used by the referee on the field.
Every other league.
If the referee wants to see the incident, they know it's there, right? That they can look at the footage.
I have heard where, first of all, we're the only league in Europe that doesn't have the referee on the pitch go to the screen. Every other league in Europe, the referee will go to the screen on the field and look. Just as an example, I mean, here in America, in American football, if there's a challenge where they go and they look at instant replay, the referee, it's automatic. He's required to go and look at a screen and consult with the instant replay officials. Being the only league in Europe that doesn't require the on-field referee to look at the screen on the sideline is just absolute. We're supposed to be the best league in the world, yet we're completely stuck in the Stone Age when it comes to certain things, and all of those things revolve around the referees and officiating of these matches. And I just don't understand how that can possibly be. And I think if the referee looks at the screen yesterday, I have to think that the referee doesn't change his decision from what he called on the field, because again, there's no clear and obvious evidence that he made a mistake in the original call on the field.
And we're talking about the what should have been the winner at 3-2, right?
Yep.
If anything, Chambers is surrounded by three Crystal Palace players.
What I saw, if I may here, is I believe it was Gary Cahill who was actually pushing Chambers in the back, which actually caused the trip on, I don't even know who it was in the box that the Crystal Palace player went down. And I don't recall who it was, but Gary Cahill has his forearm, I believe, into the back of Callan Chambers, creating the Chambers penalty. So it's a domino effect of the Cahill foul against Chambers, Chambers foul against the other Crystal Palace player.
Yeah. MacArthur, I believe it was.
That's right. It was James McCarthy. That's right.
And that's what allows the ball to come out around where the penalty spot is, and Socrates finishes it nicely.
Exactly. And they were both great. That feedback, I'm very sorry about that, guys.
And here,
the two strikes by Socrates were actually absolutely brilliant, I thought. And it's a shame that VAR comes in, and I just don't know how I still am dumbfounded by it. At this point, VAR has to go, because it's just not getting, when you're overturning calls and your sole purpose is to eliminate blatant and obvious mistakes, and VAR is the blatant and obvious mistake. VAR has to go, and it ruins the atmosphere. I'll be honest with you. I was at the Burnley match, and VAR came on to check, I believe, the second goal that we scored. VAR came on, and it just lets all of the air out of the stadium, and it takes away from so much atmosphere and so much excitement, because it is an in the moment. Exactly. It's an in the moment thing when you see the ball hit the back of that net, and just the spur of the moment, sheer exhilaration that we as fans feel as football fans, not just a fan of the Arsenal, but any football team, any football club, that you feel that excitement when the goal is scored. And then you see the purple screen in the stadium. And maybe it's a good thing Sheffield United doesn't have a screen, because the only thing they'll say then is that, the announcer says, oh, VAR is checking it, but you don't get that god awful purple VAR checking. And it's at this point, it's a waste of time. It's getting more calls wrong than it's getting right. And it deflates a stadium.
Are we in the early stages of VAR they're working out the kinks in real time through the season?
Well, that's not the time. In the season is not the time to be working out the kinks. If you're going to implement something like this, you need to be implementing it in matches in the summertime, in friendlies, and testing it out there and getting your officials, your referees up to speed with things then, because now you're affecting outcomes of matches, which is affecting the outcome of the table and the standings,
drastically,
which will in turn then affect the money. And I hate to bring this to money, but it does affect the money for the clubs, because where you finish in the table depends on how much money you get. And if you finish, the difference between 10th and 6th, money wise, is, I don't know what it is exactly. I'll go out on a limb and guess that
millions.
It's million. I was going to say it's millions of dollars. It may not be 10 million, but it might be 2 million, and still $2 million. That's a heck of a lot of money for VAR to cost a club.
Yeah. And think about those clubs near the relegation zone.
Exactly.
BG, you know?
100%.
Okay, so we talked about the two VAR decisions. We're 2-1, let's say. We're holding on to a tenuous lead at 2-1, heading into the second half. And let's also talk about Crystal Palace. They have quality. They have qualities going away from home. They're one of the better away teams as well.
Roy Hodgson has them playing very well away from home. They're not the most talented club in the Premier League, but they're certainly far from the worst. And I was not confident really heading into this match at all that we would get a result. My confidence in the team right now is just shot. And Crystal Palace are a good side. They're going to hit you on the counterattack, which you knew was going to come. And Zaha, maybe he's not a star. Maybe he's not the star at a number of other clubs, obviously the top six, Leicester. But he is a star, and he's one hell of a footballer. And I think he showed that yesterday once again.
He once again against us. He does seem to show up against Arsenal.
Just seems to draw penalties, and then Milivojevic finishes them off.
Yeah, I think Roy Hodgson is a coach he gets the absolute maximum out of the team that he has, the talent that he has at his disposal, and he sets them up correctly away from home. A good, solid unit.
And boy, you just wonder, would you take Roy Hodgson at this club right now at Arsenal over Unai Emery? Given what you just said, setting players up in the right position, getting the most out of them.
I'm also thinking of another name, Rafa Benitez.
Yep.
That kind of coach, but we'll get into all of that.
Sure.
Pretty soon. So yeah, we get into the second half, and I really, really feel that the timing of the substitution we're going to talk about was quite bad for the player. In a way, we've just conceded a goal.
Yeah,
it's 2-2. The stadium is deflated, and Granit Xhaka's number is put up.
And at that point, fans are looking for a scapegoat, and Emery gave him his captain. That's who he offered up as the sacrificial lamb in that case. And I'm going to go off on a bit of a rant here, Ray, if you don't mind, because I've seen a lot of...
We're all feeling the same way, I think.
I've seen a lot of things on Twitter, and maybe you disagree with me, but I've seen a lot of people on Twitter talk about how we can't boo our own players. And I will say this. I have been every Arsenal match that I have been to. I was at 9 matches total last season. And every match that I was at, and I've been to the opener this year against Burnley, when a player came off the pitch, I stood and I applauded. I applauded the effort. I have never booed. That said, just because I've never done it does not mean I never would do it. I have been at other sporting events where I have booed my team. I think when you pay the money for the ticket, you are allowed to boo if you feel that the effort is not there. That being said, everything that Granit Xhaka has gone through on social media, people are throwing things at his car. There was a rumor that people were spitting on his car and throwing coins and plastic bottles at his car yesterday as he was trying to leave the stadium. That's absolutely insane to me. Absolutely insane. It is a game, and we are all emotionally invested in this. But to wish cancer on someone, I mean, to wish harm. To wish harm to the man's wife, to the man's child. If you are one of those people, I'll be honest, and I'm going to say this, Ray, and I hope you don't mind, but please don't watch me. Please don't watch us. Don't listen to us. Don't follow me on Twitter. I don't want anything to do with you if you are that kind of a person. Booing is one thing, and I think it's the fans. That is the fans and the supporters' way of saying, hey, you're a professional. you need to put in the effort, and we don't think you put in the effort today. That's what booing is for. But to go beyond that, threatening people, wishing harm to them or their families is absolutely ludicrous. So yesterday, what do you say? Was it which came first here, the chicken or the egg? Because I've seen a lot of different views on Twitter of people saying, well, he was taking his time walking off the pitch, so that's when the fans really started to turn on him, or the fans were already up in arms over him because he was coming off. We don't want him to be the captain. We're not fully behind Granit Xhaka, so it started there when we saw his number come up on the board. I wasn't there. I don't know. And I've gone back and I've actually watched the replay a lot to try to see really kind of which came first, but not being there, seeing when did the board go up with his number and listening, when did the crowd really start to, give him stick. I think both parties are equally wrong as far as the booing and Xhaka taking his time and everything that went with it. I mean, everything that came after that, the taking the armband off and throwing it at Abba, ripping the shirt off and walking down the tunnel. He never threw his shirt on the ground that any camera caught. Anybody saying he threw his shirt on the ground, I have not seen that, and I don't think any camera caught it either. But all of that, obviously, the language directed at the fans, the cupping of the ear and going, Hulkamania on everybody. You can't do that. And as professional athletes, I was thinking about this earlier today. As a professional athlete, you have to have thick skin. As any celebrity, if you're in the public eye, you have to have thick skin because people are going to attack you. It's just, unfortunately, it is just the nature of society today. A lot of jealous people, and they're going to attack you because they want what you have. You have to have some thick skin. And what Xhaka did yesterday, to me, is not – it's a disgrace to the armband. It's a disgrace to this right here. Mm-hmm. And this is the most important thing.
Inexcusable.
Thierry Henry said it best. If the badge is too heavy for you, then leave.
Yeah.
And that's – Ian Wright has had his say. What do you think Tony Adams – let me ask you, Ray. In a situation like yesterday, what do you think Tony Adams – how do you think Tony Adams would have reacted had he gotten the same thing that Granit Xhaka experienced in the stadium yesterday? How do you think Tony Adams would have reacted? I know how I think Tony Adams would have reacted.
He would not have been happy, and maybe I'm understating that. He would not have been happy at all.
Not at all. I happen to think Tony Adams, but I think Tony Adams would have taken the opposite approach that Xhaka took. I think Adams walks off the pitch. I don't think there's any, none of this, none of the language or anything like that. I think he comes off the pitch, he walks down the tunnel, and he's like, you know what? Okay, you want to boo me? I'll tell you, you're never going to boo me ever again because I'm coming out in the next game and I'm putting in a shift. I'm putting in a shift that you've never seen before. You're never booing me again. I think that would motivate Tony Adams. I think it would motivate Patrick Vieira. I think certain players that just they're going to take that as motivation, and those are the players with the thick skin that can handle the captaincy. And Granit Xhaka just I can't condone what he did, and he's got to go. He can't wear the shirt. For me, forget the armband. He can't wear the shirt ever again, in my opinion.
There's no way back for him. Hey, Ryan, thanks for coming in. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Ryan, what's up, bud?
We're talking about the hot topic at hand. What's your take on the Granit Xhaka substitution? Walk off.
Oh, Xhaka. Taking out the equation, he's captain. He sort of, as a professional, even though, yes, he might have been upset, you hold it in. You let your frustrations out and say to the press. You say you're disappointed. That's what bears make.
Make matters worse.
Did we lose him?
A little bit.
Is when our and these dribs and drabs were led to believe possibility he could see.
Sorry, there's a possibility. What, Ryan?
That's that.
There's a possibility. What you were saying? You just broke up a little bit.
Oh, that was just basically saying basically Xhaka did the complete opposite of what he should have done. He sort of basically bit his and waited until after the match to put out his frustration to how he feels about the fans, this, that, and the other. Not do what he did, because what he did would just entice his situation even worse. And what's more worrying is that we're over 24 hours later, and the club itself and the player himself have gone completely quiet.
Silence. I said this yesterday, Ryan. I said we've had a bad result. We've had a bad PR situation. And what the club usually does is hunker down for the next 48, 72 hours until the next game. And maybe there'll be a press conference before the Liverpool game. And Xhaka will be marched out there to apologize to the fans.
Well, so in my opinion, by the end of the day, if he was truly sorry for what he done, he's part of the situation, he'd have apologised within an hour or two.
Yeah, on social media. Yeah, absolutely.
So
totally agree with you.
Any apology now, any apology now will not feel sincere to me, and I can't forgive him for that. But the thing is, I know for a fact he might not play on Wednesday because it's a cup game, but I guarantee you he'll start on Saturday.
Ooh.
In the 3 o'clock
now,
game Wolves. As captain as
well. My hope and what I think will happen is that he'll be sad for a few weeks now. He won't get into the team for a few weeks. That's my feel and thing. He won't be captain. He cannot be captain moving forward. What do you think about that, Ryan?
Be captain.
No.
He shouldn't be captain in the first place.
Yep. And Emery's got to take some blame in all of this, I believe.
Go ahead, Ryan. You could take that.
Totally, because he even though no matter what he says and what Rob Holding says, it was Emery's decision. The players had no say. I don't care what anyone says. It was Emery's choice. I mean, what a coincidence that the players apparently vote for Xhaka to be the club captain, the captain since day one of this new season. Who's one of the 5 captains last year? A coincidence out of all the players that they could have picked.
Yeah,
it just happened to be the person that Emery wanted.
When you think about it, go ahead, Ray.
No, there was at least 2 or 3 other candidates who were more worthy than Granit Xhaka to be captain, Ryan. Rob Holding, Bellerin.
Lacazette.
Yep.
Aubameyang.
Yep. And they are 2 of the 5. Even Ozil made that short list. This is how bad, Tanner. This is how badly run this club is right now in terms of Mesut Ozil's being frozen out, but yet he's one of the 5 captains.
And you can see the consternation on my face there. I think here. Let me take my glasses off so there's no glare, so you can see. What? Mesut Ozil has been frozen out of this club, yet here he is. He's one of the 5 captains. Explain that to me. And back to Ryan's point about being voted for captain. It would have taken at least two players. It would have taken at most it could have taken 2 players to vote him as captain, himself and whoever his best friend in the dressing room might have been. So the player vote, in my opinion, is I'll be honest. I think Rob Holding, or I think it was Rob Holding, who said yes, there was a player vote for captain. I think he may have been given marching orders to go to the press and say, yeah, we voted for who we thought should be club captain. And I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And I'll say this, as far as Emery and his choices per player are concerned, I think Emery has favorites. I think it's becoming painfully obvious that he has and plays his favorites. And Xhaka is clearly one of them. And Ray, I actually agree wholeheartedly and 100% with Ryan. I don't think he'll wear the armband on Saturday, but I think he starts. I think Emery at this point is just that defiant that Xhaka is his guy, and I think he's going to start him. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Xhaka started Wednesday at Liverpool. I wouldn't be shocked either way. If Emery started him against Liverpool on Wednesday in the cup match, that would be because he doesn't want the media attention of starting Xhaka on Saturday in a Premier League match, but he's still going to give him his playing time.
If he plays Wednesday, there's going to be that media attention for a Carabao Cup game.
I don't know what it's like over there media wise. I would think there'd be more attention on the Premier League game, but I can't speak intelligently to that. I don't.
Ryan can speak to that. It's a high profile game against Liverpool.
Well, against Liverpool, the opponent makes it a high profile match. I wasn't really thinking about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Oh yeah, it does. But also, we've had incidents in the past. I was on my channel yesterday with Colin, and we were talking about the William Gallas situation against Birmingham City.
Yes.
And how the media took that, and it literally 6 months later, there was another incident where he lost the captaincy just before, 24 hours before going into a big game against Man City away, and how the media, because it's Arsenal as well, jumped on it and they sucked the life out of it for one end.
Yeah,
and that was under an Arsenal. That was the part of the Wenger era. This is a new era.
Yeah,
this is post Wenger now. The
You
club,
see,
the
Tanner-
club aren't protected by Wenger no more. And from what I've heard from certain people on social media, apparently Josh was there yesterday. He's given him two league games, literally 2 weeks to sort things out, or he's out of a job. And that's what they've heard.
Yeah, it's become as bad as that. And the two league games are Wolves at home and Leicester away from home. Doesn't look good on paper.
Let me ask you guys right now, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What is your give me what you think we will take from these next two league games, and what you'll be happy with us getting if we get anything at all. I'll tell you, I don't think we get any more than a point, and I'll be over the moon if we get a point. You think we're beating Wolves, Ray?
I think we'll be lucky if we get a draw
against Wolves,
unless we're against Wolves.
Yeah,
and then
we won't beat Leicester.
No,
the form they're in at the moment, they'll just batter us.
We won't beat Leicester.
We
know that.
And everything that's going on at Arsenal with Xhaka and everything else, they will batter.
It's unanimous. We're not beating Leicester.
And that will see the end of Emery.
Yeah.
See the end of Emery.
Even with the club coming out today, Ryan, I think you guys would have seen what David Ornstein said in The Athletic today. That and look, they don't call him Oracle Ornstein for no reason, especially when it comes to the Arsenal. He seems to have his sources very well placed inside the club, and he said that there will be no knee-jerk reactions here. They are fully backing him. And look, Josh Kroenke, as you just said, Ryan, he was there yesterday. And I think you said what they're giving him 2 more league matches, and if not, basically, if we don't get the results, then he's out of here. It has to be. And the reason there's an international break right after the following weekend after Leicester's an international break.
Yeah.
So that would make a ton of sense if they're saying he's going to get 2 more league games.
And 2 cup games.
What is the board and ownership or the hierarchy at Arsenal? What are they looking for? Do you guys think out of these next 2 league games? Are they looking for 1 point? Are they looking for a result? Or are they looking at performance? Because look, you can play very well and still lose. You could play very poorly and still win, and we have been the latter of those two things. I think so far this season we've been very lucky. And I one more thought, if I may, here before I let you guys go. Ray, when we were talking about the game yesterday, I had a thought today, and I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth when I say this. I think we were very unlucky, obviously, to not get the result because of VAR taking away the Socrates goal at the end, or Socrates' second goal. But I also think that we were very lucky to come away with a point, because I think had that game gone on about another 10 minutes, I think Crystal Palace is scoring again. And we're probably staring down the barrel of another successive 3-2 defeat at home to Crystal Palace. I just wanted to put that out there where, on the one hand, very unlucky, yet when you look at the result, I almost feel like we were lucky to a degree.
That has been our season, right, Ryan? When Tanner's talking about Crystal Palace, we could visualize Watford. We could visualize Aston Villa. The list goes on.
Oh, yeah.
Tottenham at home.
Villa literally drained me for 2 days after. From that day, from the literally end of that game, for the next 2 days, I was drained and physically, mentally. Next to you, and 48 hours of pain again. That drained me, and I've never been in that situation where I've felt physically and emotionally drained for a football match like that.
Yeah. Because we
As
care.
I said, we've got lucky this in certain games, and we've been unlucky in certain games as well. Like yesterday with the Chambers goal, and then again, as you guys have said before I came on, it was a goal. I've watched it over and over again. If anything, Chambers has found at least 2 to 3 times to that play. So if anything, it should be the penalty to us. But technically, the advantage, and we scored the goal anyway. So it's just what it is. And I'm just because you've mentioned VAR before. I'm a huge rugby union fan, and obviously they have the Rugby World Cup at the moment, and they have their own version of VAR, which is TMO, and that's implemented to a T. Literally, there's none of what we're getting with VAR in Premier League. We're not getting that. You don't get rugby. It's literally if there's a slight little concern that maybe the ref's got something wrong, or he's not sure, he'll go straight to the people upstairs that are in the stadium as well. They ask them to check the situation, blah 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 blah, and then they put it up on the screen, and then they're chatting back and forth, and then they confirm.
Yep.
That they're on the same wavelength.
I've seen it. It's all transparent, Ryan. Everybody can hear it.
But for some, yeah, exactly.
Everybody can hear the conversation.
For some bizarre reason, the Premier League don't want to implement that. They want to do it their own little way. But the people that are going there, the fans themselves don't have a clue what's going on, and they're still getting decisions wrong. The whole point of bringing in VAR was to erase all these incorrect decisions that have been going wrong, and it's not working.
Do you think it will?
It's cost us.
Go, Tanner.
Oh no, I was just going to ask Ryan. I had said to Ray earlier before you hopped on here, Ryan, that VAR is in place to eliminate the blatant and obvious referee mistakes on the field. And in fact, yesterday with the Socrates second goal, they actually created a blatant and obvious mistake themselves. Yet they're directly in the face of what they're trying to correct. As you said in rugby, and I agree. I don't watch a lot of rugby, but I've heard this before. That and by the way, go England in the rugby. I believe it's the Rugby World Cup final on Friday. So come on, you three Lions. I'll be watching. I'll be watching for sure. I'm trying to learn more about the sport, but. I've heard that rugby union, it is implemented perfectly here in America. Ryan, I'm a big American football fan, and I'm a huge hockey fan. And in football, in American football, certain plays are automatically reviewed, but the coaches also have 2 challenges where they can ask the referee to go to the monitor and look. And I was telling Ray that in American football. And in every other European football league, the on-field referee is required to go to a screen on the field and watch the replay and then consult with wherever the VAR officials are located, be it in the stadium or somewhere else. But English Premier League, we're the only league that don't require the official to go watch the play again and consult with the quote unquote eye in the sky or big brother, if you will. And we're for the supposedly the best league in the world. We don't do that. And I don't understand. Even in the NHL here in North America, in hockey, they call it the War Room, and it's in Toronto, Canada. And every single goal, it doesn't matter if there's any controversy surrounding it. Every single goal is reviewed by the War Room in Toronto, and if they feel that it needs reviewed, you'll hear a horn go off during play in the arena. They'll stop play. The referees will skate over. And they'll get two laptops, or excuse me, two iPads, and they will watch the replay of the goal and make a decision if it's a good goal or not. But that goes for every goal. It doesn't matter. They watch everything. And Premier League, I think right now we've just got it completely backwards. And I said, Ray had asked me if he thought that we were in the early stages of it, if they're kind of learning on the fly. I said, if they are, they've gotten that wrong too. They should have been perfecting this in the summertime, in some, perhaps some lower tier league matches and something. So sorry guys, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, Ryan, do you feel it will work the kinks out through the season and be perfect in the new year? Because you're just
says my heart hopes they will, but my head's telling me no because of how stubborn the Premier League's been about it.
Yeah,
the fact that
I agree with you.
In they came and openly admitted, we've made mistakes, and literally that same weekend made them same mistakes again. There's no improvement. It's just getting worse and worse. And as I said, I want it to work. I want it to be fixed and the kinks to be worked out. But whilst the Premier League and the referees and the way the SAP is at the moment is not going to improve.
Did anyone else see Manchester United Norwich, what I call the Harry Kane move that Daniel James did on the Norwich defender?
I saw that.
I didn't see it, no.
So Daniel James is not following the flow of the ball and leans right into the defender
and falls down,
forcing a collision. As a la Harry Kane.
Yeah.
And referee is given.
The referee didn't.
Yeah, go Ryan.
The referee never gave it, and the VAR came in and basically said, "No, it's a penalty." And he did it again later on in the game. Didn't give it. VAR came in. No, it's a penalty. It's absolutely. And it's blatant diving. And again, they're not going to. There's another thing about Premier League football. They talk about, we've got to eradicate diving, but they're not doing anything to eradicate in the first place.
Yeah.
If you come out and say,
good call.
Even afterwards, if it's found out, we'll go over the footage on the Monday morning that we're watching your matches and you've dived, and we think you've done it to gain an advantage. You've done it or not. There's a fine in play. There's a set fine for your first thing and a 2-match ban. Suddenly you'll start seeing the actual eradication.
Right. That's why you're advocating.
We don't want to miss
if you're gonna miss 2 games, you're gonna clean up your act.
Exactly.
Does anyone see a difference between what we're talking about and what, say, Sadio Mane is doing? He's feeling the contact and going down. Do you see a difference there?
Go ahead, Ryan.
But it's like they were doing it last year because of how VAR has been implemented itself, and there's a possibility they'll get away. They're going to keep doing it, and it's frustrating. It's what it is, and because of how they've bought art at the moment, they're more likely to get away. But either way, do you want to? It's true. It's not the first time he's done it this season. But I would want him to be made an example of if he's going to continue doing this, because suddenly again people will take notice and go, "Hang on, if he can be held accountable, then what's stopping him from making me accountable?" And there's a butterfly effect where it trickles down for all the other players and all that. But hey,
So
what do I know?
let's get off this topic and go to something lighter, like the Granit Xhaka again.
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah,
Tanner,
exactly.
we know your position, Tanner. You have no way back for Granit Xhaka
with the
into the
fans,
team.
with the fans, no. With the supporters, no. There's just no way you can come back from his actions on this. I mean, we didn't want him as captain before, and Ryan, you hit the nail on the head. This is directly, in my opinion, on Unai Emery, because he's the one. Again, back to Ryan's point, choosing him as captain. If there are, in fact, 5 captains, then why isn't someone else getting the armband in a game? Why? If you know how, and you have to in this sport more than any other, at least in America anyway, the fans and the supporters are so connected with the club. You don't feel that in American sports. And I think I hit on that a little bit last week. But and I can tell you from having been to matches, having been to Arsenal matches over there in London, I can tell you it's a completely different feel to going to a sporting event here in America. You feel a lot more connected. At least I did anyway. And so Unai Emery has to feel that connection from the club and the supporters, and he has to listen to them. He has to hear them because he's going to dig his own grave. And with Granit Xhaka, you have to hear that the supporters are saying, look, we don't really believe in this guy, and the things that he's doing on the pitch that's why we don't believe in him. He's giving away penalties. How many penalties has he given away since the 22 game unbeaten streak of last season? How many penalties has he given away? And that's why the supporters are giving him such stick. But there's Unai Emery continuing to trot him out there out of position, which is Unai Emery's fault. I can't blame Xhaka for that. But then I ask myself, what does Granit Xhaka really bring to the game, regardless of being out of position or not? What does he really bring to the game? I'm not a Xhaka fan. He's been here. This is his 4th season. It's time to move on from him.
Yeah.
We've gotten the most out of him that we're going to get. And
and look, we tried to hide his inadequacies last season by having a world-class defensive midfielder,
Lucas Torreira.
In Torreira. Ryan. He played alongside Xhaka, and we played Liverpool last season at home, and 2 good games. That was good. No, 2 good performances from those players in that game. So we can.
Exactly. It all comes down to Unai Emery again, because back then it was 4-2-3-1 with Xhaka and Torreira, as you said, in that midfield, protection the back foot, and they worked perfectly. And then, for example, that Liverpool game, and Torreira for most of that season in that formation was superb. It's for some reason, and this is the thing, he played the 4-2-3-1 in pre-season.
Yep.
And then as soon as the season started, he's reverted to this 4-3-3, and he can only play 1 CDM. And because Xhaka's captain, he won't drop him, obviously.
It's a nightmare.
Torreira, either on the bench, he does play. He's playing in a more like Kante for Chelsea was last year, making him push forward. And he wants to be more back in with the back 4. We're not getting the best out of him in this formation, but it comes down to Unai Emery again.
Yeah, patently we have the players who can play 4-2-3-1. If you put them in the right goddamn positions and not try to wedge it into a 4-3-3, Ryan. It's I don't understand this. The coach and Granit Xhaka, he's got his faults, but he's not being put in the best position to prosper. And he's in some ways a scapegoat now. Um, Tanner said the fans pay the money. Yes, you can scream and shout at a player. They're earning money. They're out there performing. We're paying their wages. It's not something I would do personally, but I understand the frustration of the fans as well. And then it's not like it's the 80th minute where you've got 10 minutes to go and the urgency's there. I think what happened, Ryan, is that we just conceded a goal and Emery's taken off for the second game running. Remember, he was hooked off at Sheffield United as well. And he doesn't show urgency to come off the pitch.
No.
And then,
And that's the thing. Because it was initially being just jeered for being substituted because obviously the fans feel
ironic
he
cheers.
shouldn't be starting. Yeah, it was ironic cheers at the time.
Yep.
It's what made it worse is at the time when he was as you said, just strolling off the pitch like casually. It was like when the team's like 3-4 up and the substitution is just like strolling off. You've done your job. Da 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 da. We're 2-2. We've just, as you said, just conceded a goal, equalising goal. We need to play. We need him to come off ASAP. So our attacking player that's coming on can help us get the winning goal. But the lack of urgency he had, and then because of that, that initially intensified the ironic cheers to please get off quicker, which then came back to him, and he's then doing what he did, and then it intensified even more. And
So what you have,
again,
Tanner, is
I don't condone the behaviour of the fans in the sense of what they did in the first instance, but he doesn't. As I said earlier, he didn't help things because they took it on the chin at first, and then after the match, his interview or whatever, and voiced his upset, basically, but in a more dignified way. He refused to do that. He did what he did, and the fact that he not once, twice, used the F word, and then in between that, ripped the shirt off and threw it to the floor whilst walking down the tunnel. It's like a peasant child. That doesn't get his way in the shop.
And throwing your arms up in the air as well.
What is that he's playing?
He was visibly showing the whole stadium, throwing his arms up in the air, shouting expletives at the crowd. And what I did not like, Ryan, was taking off the shirt. And as Tanner correctly said, he did not throw it. He threw the armband.
Threw the armband, and he dropped basically. I think at some point down when he took it off walking down the tunnel, he dropped it to the floor. From what I've been told from fans that are sitting there.
Yeah.
And that was more, even that would ag any Arsenal fan. He's living their dream. He's basically living our dream in the sense of he's playing for the club that we love.
Yeah.
We'd love for at least a second to put that shirt on and play on the Emirates pitch for our club. He's got the privilege of doing that week in and week out for us, and he did that. And he might be our club captain. No, that's. But hey.
So Ryan, do you see him? Do you see a way back for Granit Xhaka into the team eventually, or on Saturday?
From a fan's perspective, no. But I think it'd be forced by Emery, and Emery will die on a sword by that. Then I think it's more. It's even telling that two of our most prolific strikers we've had in years are liking Instagram posts or Twitter posts from Arsenal fans that are directly basically helping the manager and Xhaka for Xhaka for his actions, but the manager as well. And that Lacazette and Aubameyang, we've both seen it now. They've liked them. It's publicly out there now. People took screenshots of it out there. And I think that's telling that certain players are now using social media and who they know in the Arsenal fan base to show their frustration on the inside of the club.
And you know what?
I think it was Adam Smith a few weeks ago said he's met a few of the players that are playing for us now, and the players themselves are confused with what Emery wants. They don't know what he wants from one day to the next.
Yep.
They don't get his instructions because one day he'll say one thing and he'll completely change it the next.
Yeah, I mean, if it was just a language barrier, which he is very hard to understand at times, his delivery is very hard, but he's also switched, Tanner. He's also switched up. He said the players are ready to go, and they're not picked. Mixed signals.
Exactly.
Mixed signals. You go to Liverpool and you automatically throw up the white flag. We're afraid to play Liverpool.
No, go ahead, Ryan.
Sorry. In the fact that before that Liverpool game, he came out in his press conference in Miami and said, I don't like playing against. Basically, doesn't like it. Doesn't like playing against Liverpool. Sorry, what? Your man's one of the biggest.
Exactly.
Probably the biggest club in London, and you've just said that you don't want to play a team that you're aiming to build your team to be matching against in the next couple of years.
If you don't, go ahead, Ray.
He's gonna take our supposed second team up to Liverpool. And what's he gonna say in the dressing room before the game? I know it's the second team, but
God knows.
I want to install something into the club where I think there's a malaise in the club where many of the players are happy to lay in fourth place, fifth place, sixth place. They don't want to have that pressure on them. How are we ever going to get into the top four and challenge again?
Well, if they don't want that, the door is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that is what it is. We can't afford another year outside Champions League football for so many reasons. And as fans, and as a club itself, the club itself is not a Europa League club as a whole. If you look over their history, we are a top club. We are the biggest club in London. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
It's not a given right to be Champions League, but we should be at least competing to be in that. And if players don't want to be in, try it. If they're content of being playing Europa League football, go and play for Everton or West Ham.
Yeah, I come back to I think you were here, Ryan. It might have been right before. Hang on.
Hello.
That's my fiance Nicole. Back out of that. I'll send you a different link.
Thank you.
I was trying to send her the link so she could watch while she's at work. Sorry about that. Now my face is turning beet red. Just for those of you who follow me and you think she's not real, that was her. She's real now. You've seen her.
On 56 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Get a quick cameo in here. Last week, Ryan, it was the dogs barking. Now she jumps in and whoops, wrong link. Sorry about that, guys. Never a dull moment here at Arsenal Fan Circle.
Tanner, every entertainment every week.
It's something. It's something different every week, guys. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I have to give us our own topics of conversation. Arsenal Football Club are not providing enough silly things for us right now. I apologize. I completely lost our train of thought here with the what I said before with Thierry Henry. If the badge is too heavy, take it off, leave. Get out of here. Yeah. And with this club, I don't want to sound entitled, but we should be playing Champions League football. We are one of the biggest clubs in the world, let alone London. And you're absolutely right, Ryan. We're the biggest club in London. Everybody knows that, with the exception of obviously Chelsea fans and scum fans. But we absolutely should be playing Champions League football, and with the worldwide reach that we have as a football club. Stan the man, good question. And that's perfect. If you guys can see what Stan is saying, spend $6 million now, or it could cost us 40 to 60 mil if we don't qualify. And you're spot on, Stan. That's absolutely, exactly. Nailing the, or hitting the nail on the head.
Connor, we haven't hit rock bottom yet. I mean, we could drop further down the league. We're looking at Wolves at home and Leicester away from home for sure. And that's not even getting into December.
We
I don't
could,
even want to tell you who we're playing in December.
after this week, we could be in 10th place. I don't think we will be, simply because if I look at the fixture list,
Yeah.
I don't think everything will fall that way. But we could theoretically be in 10th place come the end of this weekend. And if our only objective as a club and as a fan base is to finish ahead of the scum, then what are we doing? That's not my only concern. It's if I see that we're a club that we're not going to compete for the top 6, then yeah, if God forbid we were to ever become a team in a full-on rebuild mode, we've got to strip it down to the studs and we have to build it back up again.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I want to finish ahead of the scum. But we're a top 6 club. We're a top 4 club. We have the talent. And think about this, guys.
Yeah, the players are there.
We could be in second place right now, 5 points clear of City. Had we won the games we should be winning, we could be in second place, 5 points ahead of the defending champs. Drop 2 points at Watford. Drop 2 points at home, in my opinion, against the scum. 2 points at Man U. We should have won that game. Drop 3 points at Sheffield United. We should have beaten them. And we dropped 2 points again today. That's, what am I up to, 11? 11 points that we've dropped. We should be in second place, in my opinion. And Ray, you and I talked about this last week. Is the glass half empty or is the glass half full? And I think the fan base as a whole now is starting to come around to we're glass half empty at this point. And it's not, hey, look at where we are. It's look at where we probably should be. That's the talent level that we have. If Unai Emery would play the proper players, play his best players in their proper positions, that's where we should be. And laughing at the scum and at the Manx, because they're in disarray right now. And the only reason that I'm getting a little angry now. The only reason that we're in 5th place is because those teams around us, the scum, United, they're in disarray. We can't laugh at them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Look, again, we could very, very easily be in 10th place come the end of this weekend. And that, with this talent, is purely unacceptable.
West Ham and Bournemouth are around us as well, Ryan. Has Emery lost the dressing room?
I'll start initially before this weekend. I would have said I was sat on the fence and said maybe, but seeing what I've seen on certain players doing what they've done, I think so. And I think it's the ones that are wanting to be competitive at Arsenal.
Yeah.
It's ironically our strike force. Our best players are revolting all of a sudden. They are voicing their opinion by liking posts that are anti against him and Xhaka. So I do believe, and if he does stick to his guns and does the stubborn thing and keep Xhaka as his captain and starts him either on Wednesday night or on Saturday afternoon over in the UK, that's going to be there's going to cause more divide within the dressing room. He's going to lose more players because they're going to be like, "Oh, hang on, you're punishing Mesut for not implementing and bending the knee and doing what you want. Xhaka's doing the same thing, and he's our club captain, and he's playing every week, no matter what, to the point that he did what he did 6 days ago on this very pitch in front of his own fans, and disrespected the club.
That's a great point, right?
Brought the club into disrepute, and then things are going to start growing, and little seeds of doubt, and then that might not have been there at first. And certain players will then be there, and we saw at the end of Wenger's era, the last 2 seasons, things started to fall apart there.
Yeah,
in the sense of he started losing the players there.
Yeah.
We've seen that. We could see that now.
A little pointer to whether Xhaka could play on Saturday. Look for the team sheet on Wednesday. If Lucas Torreira is playing, that's a really good key that maybe Xhaka is going to play on Saturday. If Lucas Torreira is not on the team sheet or if he's in the subs bench on Wednesday, possibly he could play on Saturday in lieu of Xhaka. What do you think? Good theory or throw it out?
I think it's a good theory. But here's my question. Let me answer your question with a question. First of all, I think you're spot on, Ray. But who plays in that role if it's neither Xhaka nor Torreira? And I think that's kind of where Emery is right now with, well, I may not have a choice. I have to play one of them in that role. And I don't see another player unless he moves. Well, what he could do, I've seen this floated very, very sparingly out there. But what position did Callum Chambers win Fulham Player of the Year playing last year for them on loan? CDM, right? I believe.
Yeah.
CDM.
Yeah.
So does Bellerin come in? That would be Emery's only, I think, way out of this dilemma that he may find himself in with who do I play in that position. So, but Ray, you're absolutely right. I agree 100%. Look at the team sheet on Wednesday, and you're going to get a pretty good idea of what Emery is going to do on Saturday. And if Torreira's in the lineup anywhere, Xhaka is playing Saturday.
Sad but true, I think.
As Metallica said.
For the pregame show yesterday, trying to anticipate and key in on what Emery's doing is a very difficult thing to do. Trying to understand. Under Arsene Wenger, we knew what lineup was coming out every week under Arsene Wenger. Emery is a little bit more difficult to understand. But for the Crystal Palace game, I was one player off. I wanted Holding in there, Ryan, and we got Socrates. So I've also, based on this, I have a team for Liverpool here. I think Emi Martinez will play. Kolasinac will be left back. Holding and Mustafi, centre backs, with Bellerin at right back. And before this whole Xhaka thing started, I had Torreira, Willock, and Emile Smith-Rowe in midfield. And Saka, Martinelli, and Nelson. But this Xhaka thing is going to switch things up a little bit.
You're basically, if I'm not mistaken, I think you're going with the same lineup we trotted out against Vittoria on Thursday.
Yeah, pretty much.
The exact same lineup.
That's the cycle we're in.
Yeah.
And I wanted Unai Emery to switch that cycle up. We got it with Tierney on Sunday. But those centre backs, they look to be his first choice, Ryan. David Luiz and Socrates.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to prolong the misery too much longer, folks.
They scored the goal. They scored goals yesterday, which was fantastic in the grand scheme of things. But
and I was like,
defense,
oh my God.
They don't work.
Like I said to Tanner, oh my God, I was wrong. Maybe Emery knows what he's doing. David Luiz scored. Socrates scored. Socrates should have had two.
Yeah.
Should have had two, yeah. Oh, dear. But as a defensive pairing, they just don't. In the defensive side of their game, they don't work. They don't complement each other.
No.
We don't have the players who.
But out of the two, you've got to really you drop Socrates because for that season, going into the back end of the last season, his performances sort of dipped near the end.
Right.
Rob Holding's back now, so I don't see why he can't play alongside David Luiz or Callum Chambers. Just mix up a bit. Try different things. Don't be so dependent on two people.
Yeah.
And for the style that Emery wants to play, and he wants to play out from the back, and Socrates and David Luiz just aren't those players. They're just not.
No.
David Luiz maybe a little bit, definitely more than Socrates.
Okay, so Stan is talking about the DM.
Yeah, David Luiz could play there as well,
Yeah,
Stan.
yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, he's played that position before, and from everything that I've heard and read, he acquitted himself quite well there. So that's another option. But again, with Socrates and David Luiz being Emery's go-to center half pairing, I don't think David Luiz even gets a shout on Wednesday. I don't think he's even on the bench. My preferred back four right now would be I'll just go from left across the back would be Tierney, Holding, Chambers, and Bellerin. When Bellerin is fit. When Bellerin is fit.
That's your first choice.
Right? That's my first choice. Yeah. I am not horribly opposed if Chambers does not do well there, or if you think that David Luiz might do better. I'm not opposed to that. But right now, my first choice back four would be Tierney, Holding, Chambers, and Bellerin on the right. And I think Unai Emery I think he plays favorites. And like I said, his style, he wants to play out from the back. Something I wanted to bring this up real quick, and I don't mean to keep dragging this on, guys. I don't really have anybody else here in Pittsburgh to talk to about this, so I got to talk your ear off.
You got your fiance.
Yeah, right. Look, she's lucky. Look, she's lucky she can spell soccer or football. All right. Emery said after last Thursday, I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but he said after last Thursday against Vitoria that he thought we needed a little more structure in our attack. Yeah, exactly. Wait, what? You should have structure in your defense, but with the attacking players that we have, I want the likes of Pepe and Aubameyang and Lacazette and Martinelli when he gets in there. I want these guys to be expressive, to be creative. I don't want there to be a structure. I want you as the opposing back four to be on your heels, not knowing what's going to happen. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do? And all of a sudden, Emery is trying to put structure where it shouldn't be, yet almost take it away. Everything that he seems to do, it just seems to be the complete opposite. And it really this really started for me with the Crystal Palace match last year. The 3-2 home loss is where everything for me just with him started to unravel. That's just my opinion, but I wanted to throw that out there.
It has not been pretty since. It's our woes at the end of last season have continued, and our goals are drying up as well, Ryan.
Yeah. and now we're sitting white. But it's very reminiscent of his times at PSG from everything we were told and heard from lots of Ben Arthur and Neymar and even Lucas Moura now in their time at PSG with him. Everything they've said is starting to be true. It's sort of coming to fruition here, and that worries me even more. And obviously what you said there about be more structure in our attack.
Is he a stubborn? Is he a stubborn character?
No. We don't need structure. We need our players to, as you said, be expressive, express themselves.
Yeah.
Go forward, attack, run at defense. And this is another reason why we're struggling to fit in. No, not fit in, but hit the ground running. And I don't know if you saw it when the free kick last Thursday, everyone else is celebrating in the stadium, including the staff, but he's just sitting there crossed legs, sat back in his chair with the biggest relief.
This is my impression of Unai Emery, by the way. This is my impression of Unai Emery right here.
Yeah. And 4 claps.
This is a guy that came to us last season, and over in the UK, BBC's Match of the Day had a heat map for Unai Emery and a touch on because he was so active. And he's not that active anymore. And literally, I've seen last Thursday. I was at the game, and he's literally there. People were 2-1 down, and he's telling them, "Calm down. You stay there. Don't go forward." But we're 2-1 down.
Can I jump in here real quick, Ray?
Yep.
I said to no, fine, Ryan. I said to a buddy of mine on Saturday night. I said, with everything that Emery is doing right now in terms of trying to structure the attack and a little less structure with the defense and playing so defensively and so scared. It's almost as though he's a youth coach telling his players, before you can shoot the ball, you have to pass. You have to make one pass before you can shoot. In other words, you have to play defense before I'm going to take to release the handbrake and let you go forward and try to score goals. And again, the opposite. Our strength lies in the attack, and he's trying to focus on. Now, I get focusing on defense, but he's in focusing on the defense is completely handcuffing our attack.
Yeah, he's very much like Wenger in that way. Wenger favored attacking to the detriment of defense. Now Emery favors defense to the detriment of attack.
Yep.
Very similar.
Yep.
But even in the early years of Wenger, he's in football, but in the early years, in the first, say, first 10 years, we had to do defend and attack, and we scored goals. I bet we kept clean sheets. We scored more than what we let in. Whereas obviously in later years that disintegrated over the years. But it's even on my channel, we discussed it every last few weeks, and if anything, our defence has got worse under Emery because of how
really has.
He's concentrated, got defended, got defended, but it's because he's so visually concentrated on that. He's over.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if he would. I wouldn't mind if he was any good at concentrating on defense and actually getting clean sheets for us. It's not happening. We have world-class players that we could lose in the next year or two if things don't change. And I really, every fan has been hoping Bellerin, Tierney, and Holding would come back and at least help us. But he hasn't implemented those players yet, Ryan.
No, it's like you said earlier, he's got favourites in that moment. That is Kolasinac. And Tierney for a left back is a far better left back in every aspect than what Kolasinac is. Yes, Kolasinac can bomb forward, but Tierney can go forward, but he can also defend.
Yeah,
and Kolasinac can't cross the street, so.
I heard that he had a late fitness test yesterday. So Tierney only got in probably because of that. That's even more damning. We were all happy to see Tierney, but it was under those circumstances. Let's project quickly forward to Liverpool and talk about that for a few minutes before we wrap up. And then I want to get your new captains from all of you after that. We're going to finish on a high because I think we're unanimous in thinking that Granit Xhaka should not be part of the five. Both of us remember we all remember 1989. Can we get back to those? I know it looks pretty bleak right now. Can we get back to those days in a few years? This could be a real litmus test. Liverpool's second team versus our second team and young players. Do you see good times ahead, us battling with Liverpool in the next 2-3 years?
I think if I can jump in here first, Ryan, I think I think with the right coach, I think we have the players and I think we have the youth to be able to get back to that level again.
Yeah.
I think we need a coach that will come in and instill a backbone, first of all, because the mentality of this team is far, far, far too weak right now. They are just far too weak-minded to go on the road. So we need a coach that can instill that, but also, and this is why I really want to see Freddie Ljungberg stay with the team in a capacity if they, there's no matter of if, it's when they sack Emery.
Probably, yeah. I mean, with every manager, it's when.
Yeah, I want Freddie to stay with the team because he knows what this is all about. He's been there. And he can instill the values of the club from the player's perspective. he can instill that in them. And we saw against it was Sheffield on last Monday, jumping off the bench and getting a yellow card. And sorry, that's the long answer to the question, but yeah, Ray, I think we can get back there, but I think we need a coach. I think we need the right coach, and Unai Emery's just it's not the guy.
Obviously, the events of the last 4 hours have sort of taken a sour taste to what we're going to look at on Wednesday, but the club is going to move on. Ryan, what do you think next few years?
I'll echo.
Get that crystal ball out.
Under a new Emery, if Emery was to stay, then no, we won't get back to them days. Sadly,
no.
But if he went for the next few weeks or whenever, if he was to be let go, and Raul, Vinay, Edu, and Josh got together and made the right appointment, no matter who it is, as long as it's the right appointment for the good of the club, and they're convinced that this person becomes it and can do what, for example, what Klopp did at Liverpool. Because everyone's got to remember, when Klopp joined Liverpool, they were in a pretty dire situation to what we are in now.
Yeah, worse off. And
you can literally, I think you can literally name 2-3 players that are still at the club that from when he walked in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Look where they are now. But yes, the right manager. My first choice has always been, since that obviously when Wenger said he was leaving in that end of that season a couple of years ago, my first choice was Allegri. Because he manages big names, he's managed a big club, and the Italians. And we've got to remember that season as well. Conte was here winning the league, but the Italians in Italy rate Conte, but they rate Allegri higher. So if Conte can do what he did at Chelsea, imagine what Allegri could do in the Premier League at a club like Arsenal with the players that we've got. He'd be effectively walking into a club where he's got a strike force ready to go, a pretty solid midfield if you take Xhaka out of it, good midfield options. Defensively, there's a few kinks there and there you can weed out over a transfer window. He's got 2 good goalkeepers competing for number 1 that you can choose from.
Yep.
But whoever comes in as well has got to do what Emery has failed to do, and that's make the captain's armband relevant and meaningful.
Yep.
Because all the aggro we gave Wenger after in the latter years of him giving it, just passing it about to any and everyone, Emery came in. You've done the same. Last year, he had 5 captains: Koscielny, Petr, Ramsey. You didn't know which day to the next who was going to be our captain for the game.
Who's your...
Now that his first choice is Granit, when he's not playing, it could be anyone that's captain.
Yeah.
Whereas whoever comes in needs to. This is my captain. Vice captain is injured. This is the backup, and that's it.
Yeah. Right.
In the early noughties, we had Vieira as captain, Ray Parlour as vice captain, and he had Henry as a third choice, or Bergkamp as third choice, depending on who's playing that game.
So you're the coach, Ryan. You can pick your captain and your vice captain. Who do you pick? Don't say Granit Xhaka.
I haven't got a death wish. I haven't got grease in my hair. Sorry, I'm not Spanish. I haven't got grease in my hair.
We need a bit of humor there.
You have to laugh to keep from crying, boys.
Right at that point. All right. So your captain's going to be, and then your vice captain.
It'd be captain wise. It would be between. I'm torn between Lucas Player and actually play him and then CD him wrong, for crying out loud. We can get the best out of him.
He definitely cares about the club.
Yeah.
He shed tears for this club, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was Lacazette, because obviously he's had the armband at Lyon. He's got that experience.
Okay.
And
that's your captain and your vice captain
as a whole. But what he gives to us as a whole, in the sense of his gameplay, his hold-up play, and everything he does on the pitch, and that itself, you lead by example, and the passion he has as well, and most majority who love him.
Yeah.
Yes, for the club, game in, game out, no matter what.
I like that Torreira nomination.
But then,
Bellerin, is that what you said?
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tanner.
Vice Captain Lucas Torreira.
Lucas Torreira and Lacazette captain. Good shouts. Tanner, you're the coach now. You're Unai Emery. Don't pick Granit Xhaka.
Never.
Good evening.
Granit Xhaka's frozen out as far as I'm concerned at this point. But my captain, I'm with Ryan. I'm gonna give it to Laka. I'm gonna hand it to Alexander Lacazette. His passion. I think he wants the armband. I really do. There's a fight and a fire in him for this club that I think he just an image that sticks with me, and it's actually recent, is when he scored the first goal against the Scum earlier this year.
Yeah.
And he just stood there looking at the clock end like I'm going and I'm dragging all of you kicking and screaming. We're going to get there. That's Alex Lacazette, my vice captain.
Team on his shoulders.
Yep.
Yeah.
My vice captain. And you guys may think I'm a little crazy for this just because of his age. Matteo Guendouzi.
Okay.
That kid, I'll tell you what, when you see.
I thought you were going to say Socrates.
No, you know what? Last year, if you would have asked me this, if Socrates would have been playing this year like he did last year, I would give him a look, just because, again, he's got that fire that I talked about earlier. But I would I'll tell you what, I'm going to go hockey style, and I'm going to give you a captain and two alternates. My captain is Lacazette.
You guys are breaking the rules today.
Yeah, I'm breaking the rules. Stand through Hector into the mix, and I got to give Hector a shout. Hector, my
choice.
Nah,
my choice.
Stole your thunder.
Tan. Stole my thunder, Tan.
I'd actually make Guendouzi the second alternate captain. Just again, what my point was going to be: if there's ever a confrontation on the pitch between players, who was the first Arsenal player? If it's not directly involving Matteo Guendouzi, who's the first Arsenal player to run and jump in there?
He likes
Guendouzi. Boy,
he likes shithousery.
He loves to get in there and mix it up and just be like, you're going to fight me first. You're going to fight me first. And, if you want to fight him, you got to fight me first. And I love that.
He wants to play in that England team as well at the weekend, Ryan. He's a hell of a tackler in the open field.
Give him a look.
Stan's got a comment here.
He doesn't even shave.
All right, so
it's good, Stan. It's a good point. It's a good point. Well taken.
I would take Hector Bellerin. He's been through this shit before with Wenger. You're not fit to wear the shirt. All that stuff that happened years ago. He's been there, done that. Has the T-shirt still, and cares for the club. He's part of the fabric of the club. He understands what it is to be a Gooner. So Hector Bellerin, and he probably wants that job as well, Ryan. He put that tweet out. They're probably,
I saw that tweet. Yeah.
I would.
I don't know why he'd want it, because he's been obviously he's the most senior player at the club at the moment. That's been there the longest. Come through and part of the fabric. He came for he put into the academy. Came for the academy, broke through, got his chance. I can understand it, and obviously that would have made more sense at the time if Unai Emery had made him captain because of the Spanish links.
I think none of us are wrong, because all of our nominations are better than Granit Xhaka. none of us are wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray, you're a better nomination than Granit Xhaka. So that's I hate to say it. It's not saying much though.
No, it's
So
not.
I,
Vice captain for me in the 2017 Cup final. I saw a vice captain in Rob Holding, calling Costa a nutter. That's the kind of fight we want in this team.
You're not getting in my head.
No.
Yeah.
Listen, Ryan, thanks for coming on tonight. I know it's really, really late there. 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's currently 5 past 2 in the morning now.
God bless you, mate.
True Gooner.
Commitment.
Thanks for joining us.
If it were me at that time, boy, I'd have had a few pops, if you know what I mean.
And this will be helpful to anybody watching if we've cheered you up in any way, shape, or form. So hopefully we've done the job. We've given some Gooners a little bit of a laugh. We've helped ourselves get over a really difficult result and a really difficult controversy as well. And I forgot to plug in my PC here, so just showing them my battery's low. So I'm going to get out of here. Thank you. Thanks for joining us, Ryan.
No problem. I'll have you on my show soon, guys, as well.
Yeah, awesome. Absolutely love to come on. Anytime. Hopefully, we can turn this thing around, and the club will do what the club needs to do. You know.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Emery turn it around, but we haven't seen it. Doesn't look like it's going to happen.
No, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. And Ray, you had said earlier, and real quick, you'd asked if he's just stubborn, and the reason I don't think he turns it around is because he's stubborn. Yeah.
Yeah. We definitely got another manager like the one we had before. He was
Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag from Ajax. Erik ten Hag.
Maybe Friday first.
That's my shout for new manager.
Long range, guys. I'm looking at Patrick Vieira long range.
Yeah, but I think that's down the road. I think that's a little bit further down the road. But right now, I really like Erik ten Hag. Great with the youth. What he did with Ajax last year was just incredible. And I think you have to judge Ajax based on their Champions League. You can't really judge them. You can't really judge them in the domestic league. Yeah. You know, it just is what it is. There, it's PSG in Ligue 1. So,
hopefully we can see the what we call the second team, but very often perform.
Oh, did we lose him? Did his battery die?
Nope.
Oh, his battery may have gone on him. I'll kind of finish his thought there real quick, and then I guess we'll get out of here, Ryan, if we lost him. Second team on Wednesday. I think Emery's going to wait until he sees Liverpool's lineup before he makes his. I think he's going to base his lineup on what Liverpool's going to do. But if we get the second team, who manages it? Is it Freddie or is it Unai Emery? Because we saw the difference last Thursday against Vitoria. Emery really took the reins of that side. And we saw what happened. Everything up until then with the Cup and the Europa League was Freddie Ljungberg really kind of pulling the strings and making the decisions on the touchline for us. And there was a massive difference. So I think along with the team selection, it's going to be interesting to see who actually kind of runs things from the touchline for us as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think after what happened last week and what's going on now, I think it should go back to being Freddie having more input and going back to what it was beforehand for last week, just because of the young players and the players actually respect him for what he did in his playing career at Arsenal and in general, and the connection he has with the club itself, that they feed off that, it seems, and yeah. And again, if Unai is to be let go of his services, I do hope the club will do the right thing in keeping Ljungberg in his role, no matter who they bring in. No matter who they bring in, be part of the thing of we want you to train up. So obviously, if it's an older manager, you're looking to retire, mold this person into a more experienced person. So when you go, he can take the reins, so to speak.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
I think it'd be too early to give it to him now as a pieces kind of what we're seeing at Man United. I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah. 100. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I really don't want to see Freddie. I don't want to see Freddie take the reins before he's fully ready to do so, because I don't want to see a club legend. This is why I don't want Thierry Henry or Patrick Vieira coming into the club right now. I would absolutely love them from a sentimentality standpoint, but I don't want them coming in right now because I just don't think they're ready. And this is as we both very well know, this fan base is very fickle, and I don't want to see the fan base turn on a club legend like we've turned on Unai Emery and like a lot of the fan base did at the end of the Wenger era. So Ray sent me a message on Twitter. His battery did unfortunately take a dump on him, so he is out for the night. Ryan, it is it's 2:30 over there for you at the moment.
It's 11 minutes past 2 now. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what.
In the morning.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the timer here that I have in the corner of my screen. No, you're right. It's it's about 10 after 2 there for you, mate. So why don't you go get some sleep, some well-deserved rest, and we will look for you guys down the road. I'm going to throw a shout out here at the Bearded Gooner. That's me. You can see my Twitter handle right there. Ryan, go ahead, throw your Twitter handle out there for everybody.
It's at Mr. Arsenal 89, and obviously my podcast channel is right there on the screen there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Good show. Good talk. And hey, we'll see you out there.
Yep, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Hi, folks. If anybody's still there, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who's come in and watched the show. Really, really enjoyed this. I'm not a rookie at this, but I did a rookie error. Didn't connect the computer to a power source, so ran out of juice and dropped out. But my thanks to Tanner, the Bearded Gooner, and Ryan, who came on, and to finish out the show for us. And yeah, that's really it. Going to be taking a little while off, going on holiday. I do hope things settle down in Arsenal and we can get on with playing some good football. Unai Emery turning things around, but we discussed that at length. Granit Xhaka, he really needs to step up and apologize to the fans for what happened, and fix up. That's what he's got to do. He cannot be the captain moving forward. We've talked about potential different captains. My choice is Hector Bellerin and Rob Holding. I think Ryan came up with the unique one of Lucas Torreira. We all know he definitely cares about the club. And of course, Lacazette, another one who cares about the club. And Tanner also talked about the same thing. So my thanks to Tanner and Ryan for taking care of the podcast while I dropped out. And listen, we're all Gooners. We all want the same thing for Arsenal to get back to winning ways and to do things great in the league and the cups. And hopefully, this is our lowest point in the season. Hopefully, things get better from here on out. To the 5 people still watching, thanks for coming in and watching the show. I'll be dropping videos from time to time over the next 2 weeks. And we'll be back after a couple of weeks, putting out some more live streams. But until then, come on, the Gooners, and up the Arsenal, and let's go and play without fear up at Liverpool. Our young players shouldn't have any fear, and we need to take on Liverpool and change the narrative a little bit. It's been a heavy show all about Granit Xhaka. He needs to fess up, and we'll see what happens. Until then, thanks to everyone who has watched this live and who will be watching on playback. And we'll talk to all of you soon. And thanks so much for the support and the love. Until then, up the Arsenal.